Recording is on.
Okay. The main topic today is we're launching DXdAo's signaling priorities board using ESP tool, which Lewis built, and Lewis is joining us. And there is a forum post with some of the background and how to use. You can go to the site and check it out. It's on Gnosis Chain. It currently has points allocated depending on your Gnosis Chain rep. There is also a goal to have DXD holdings. So theoretically, I guess this could be if you also have rep, you could also get some points based on well, if you have DXD in another wallet, I guess you can put that wallet on the sheet. And we can get those DXD holding wallets added. It will then provide a blend of rep holders and DXD holders, rather than originally all take a snapshot of all wallets that hold DXD and giving them power. The idea was to have more of an opt-in at first. So if you are interested in participating in the priorities board and you have DXD and you just can fill out that sheet and we'll get those wallets added to the uh, you'll get points allocated to your wallet and then you can participate in the priorities board. Um,
And just
yeah.
on that, if we have DXD in the same address that the rep is in, does that becomes additive, presumably?
Well, so the initial I think the current plan was that any wallet, the most you can have on this priorities board is 100 points, and that's either you have 4% um 4% rep and you're capped at 4%. So if you have more than 4% rep, you can't get more than 100 points. And then the equivalent to 4% rep would be, let's say, 1,000 DXD. If you have 1,000 DXD in a wallet, you can get 100 points for that. Currently, if you had 4% rep and 1,000 DXD in the same wallet, we haven't decided this, but we could say that you could then get up to 200 points, but we aren't doing that, and we don't have a lot of scenarios where that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, so my preference is to unify these. I think this kind of goes back to governance 2.0. I think if you treat these groups as separate, as opposed to I think single addresses should have a lot of reputation and a lot of DXD, vested DXD. That's when we know there's aligned interest. And so, yeah, I mean, not saying we have to do this for this one now, but I think in general, having the additive where we want addresses to both have reputation and DXD is a good step.
So that makes sense. So because we're adding DXD holdings separately, we could easily just say, and we can still do this right now, scaled at 1,000. So let's say you have 100 DXD, so that's 1/10. So that would be another 10 voting points. And so the most that a wallet could have is if they had 4% rep and 1,000 DXD, then they have 200 voting points, rather than currently the most that someone has is 100 voting points. But we can, if we want to do that additive, we can do that already.
I wouldn't be
DXD ones manually,
Yeah, and I guess maybe we could do the opt-in for the DXD holders, but I'm not opposed to not doing that. Just giving any DXD holder that has a good amount of DXD some participation in this, or separately, I think we should be broadcasting this to DXD holders to encourage them to participate in this, because I think this is actually a very good way of incorporating DXD holders into governance. We actually don't have that many ways of doing that, and it's actually, I think, pretty low stakes because there's no actually enforceability off the priorities board, and then I also don't know how many of them will vote themselves, and if it's capped at 1,000, then it really, I don't think will be, I couldn't see really
the main issue with that is, let's say if you had 250 DXD in like 18 wallets or something,
Mhm.
and you can split up. Okay, well, if you do have 5,000 DXD, you can split them up into 5
Yeah.
wallets. And so the DXD portion, is basically not Sybil resistant.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and in general, like for governance 2.0, that's why you need to have both reputation and DXD, because the reputation makes it Sybil resistant, because you can't transfer that to other addresses. Yeah, I mean, I think that we could obviously, if that were the case, I think you could very
Yeah.
easily like not give that amount.
Yes.
And I think
So
if you took a
tweeting out,
snapshot now,
we're tweeting out that this tool's live, and it's very easy to, if you're a DXD holder with a certain wallet or more than one wallet, just adding it to that Google like form,
mhm.
like even seeing how many DXD holders have interest in participating in this. If it's like 5 versus 50,
Yeah, I just think if you put the onus on like the DXD holder, I think we want to do the opposite. I think we want to like enable their participate and like encourage and almost incentivize it, really.
what's
Especially, again, because this is like super low stakes. This is not like voting on budget or anything like that. But
if you just on Etherscan, if you take the wallets from Etherscan, like a lot of those wallets are like not just holders, but could also are like pools and things like that.
yeah,
Filtering those out, I guess if we added those to Lewis, does it matter if we just add a wallet that's happens to be a swapper pool, and then just no one, it will be a dead wallet, but we'll just have it on the list? That doesn't matter, right?
Do you plan on, so you don't plan on like doing anything or voting with that wallet, correct?
Well, no, it's a swapper pool, so it can't vote. It's holding DXD. If we wanted to just like automatically upload a list of all wallets holding DXD, well, those would be mainnet addresses anyway, mainly. And this voting mechanism is on Gnosis chain, so we might be adding a bunch of mainnet wallets that actually can't do anything on Gnosis chain anyway. I guess that doesn't really matter though.
yeah, and they could do it on.
That wouldn't mess anything up. They just would be, registered but not doing anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so I can get a list of DXD holding wallets that you could upload as well. Anyway, and so there's some background on how to use it. Everyone can and should participate in all of the instances, the main DXDAO one plus the different guild priorities. One thing that wasn't on there so far, which I'll add, is you can always edit. So you can allocate, you can unallocate. So if everyone's going to put some time and thought into how they want to allocate their points towards the priorities, but don't be concerned that like if you decide you want to change something, you can always edit it. So don't let that stop you from starting to allocate your points. It wasn't clear that you can take back your vote or adjust it or edit it, but you can. So you can start messing around with it, basically.
I think this is really cool too. It's just like very cool tool. I'm excited to get using it.
And the current view shows like the static allocation, which would be like once everyone starts allocating points, you'll have like this ranked list for each one. In the background, there's a mechanism that is actually like totaling the points over time. That's not currently showed in the front end, and it's might not be too important in this initial case, but that works and that is live. And so if we want to add it, we can add that, and that would be like throughout the quarter, if your preferences change, you could adjust, and they would start to adjust like the total allocations towards an initiative. So it's more of the overtime conviction style allocation, in addition to like a static snapshot of what priorities are. But I don't think we need that initially. Lewis, is there anything else you wanted to add? Oh, currently the basically Lewis is the admin, and so if we want to add, you can't take away wallets, but we can add DXD wallets. We can, if we found out there was something else missing, we can add. Um, but yeah, that's all.
And what was, I guess I should have read this, but ESP stands for?
The extensible signaling primitive.
Got it.
So yeah, I was just going to talk about that briefly because I think what you guys have now, just kind of like the first live, the first live deployment in the new like contract and system migration is pretty straightforward, right? But kind of the whole idea behind the rest of the system architecture, which is mostly abstracted away from what you're going to be using, is that it really is like quite extensible, meaning you can like more easily modularize like the logic of how you want a signaling instance to occur, right? So in this case, there's like a single opinionation done multiple times of, okay, like who gets to vote. In this case, it's like a hard coded array of like addresses to points, and like what's the voting scheme, and all of these other considerations, right, are what define in this instance a signaling stream. But the system architecture is kind of like modular and composable enough for like easy iteration and plugging in of like, let's say, new types of voting, new types of signaling, which depending on the complexity might require like new front end components, but once all these things are built, they become reusable. So yeah, that's kind of like the general idea. And as you're using this, kind of think about this idea of signaling in general, right? Which doesn't necessarily need to be, kind of this points vote or token vote, like simply one for one method. It could take the form of any number of other methods, and eventually be composed into this system.
Sweet. It's actually kind more of a complex product than you actually sounds, because it's built to be very modular. I notice, maybe you guys will notice a little bit too, like it's a little, when you want to do transactions, it's slightly slow, like to bring up your MetaMask, because it's actually checking a whole bunch of stuff in the background, um, which is, so don't, yeah, just give it a second to like pull up your MetaMask transaction. But everything, yeah, this is the cool thing, that this is on chain, and so like you have, there's other ways to do this. Like you can sign in with wallets and do voting off chain, snapshot style, but this is all on Gnosis chain. The votes are live. The votes are transactions. Um, you can actually use the wallet behind the decision, and so that's really powerful. Yeah. Any other questions? Or I guess the goal would be to, yeah, get everyone within DXdao contributing to start doing all of their priorities on all the instances, promoting it out, especially once there's a bunch of stuff already on there. As people start to use it, then maybe tweeting out some screenshots. We want to like write, well, the forum doc has the background. Following the first use of it, we would like to maybe publish an article announcing it and kind of why DXDAO is using it and what the results are looking like and things like that. But in the meantime, we do want to get all rep holders paying attention to it, and then also DXD holders. I guess we can, if we upload all DXD holding wallets, then we just have to get them to come look at it rather than fill out that form. So once we do that, we can adjust the sheet. But I'm interested to see if any DXD holders are paying attention to it, like as of today. Yeah.
I have a question. If some DXT holder, let's say somebody that has like 1,000 DXT or something, he plans to redeem or sell his DXT, what will happen to his votes, and what will happen to? I mean, if we have taken some decisions based on these priorities, I mean, how will we handle those?
Yeah. So if we're doing DXD and rep, we're using snapshots basically. So if you have DXD and then you sell it, or if you don't have it and then you buy it, it's not like live. It's not live updating the priorities, which is why we have to use snapshots at some point in time. So I guess the DXD holdings would be a snapshot of today. But
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Venki.
Yeah, I kind of think that wouldn't it have been better if we had like a 3-month lock-in contract or something for every quarter, where DXT holder locks his DXT to get into this prioritization board or something.
yeah, well, with a new governance system that allows us to lock DXD, like I don't see anyone that's going to lock DXD into some system for 3 months in order to vote on the priorities, and just have it sit there. But in future governance systems, if our governance system has like, voting escrow VE DXD or something, then that would be a scenario. But this is to get some priority signaling, which we have 0 on right now based on rep and DXD holders. And so on average, it should still give us something much better than what we currently have. But if someone wants to like try to game it by moving around DXD or buying and selling it and stuff like that, there's no way to stop that without locking up DXD or taking a snapshot.
Yeah, and Venki, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's definitely the direction to go. I think you go back Gov 2.0, like there is even I think the original idea was you could determine how long you wanted to lock up your DXD, and that would affect the amount of voting power you have. So if someone doesn't lock it up at all, they shouldn't have much. But I think this is, just kind of getting started in that direction. And also, since this is, again, like kind of low stakes, I think it is, it's okay to be a little
fast and loose, even if it's not the best long-term design.
Yeah, like this isn't replacing governance 2.0, but it's getting something that solves this immediate problem for now.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how the priorities come out. We might need to push internally and externally to get people to take action on it.
And I guess it's set up now. I think the original plan was to start tomorrow and then run for 1 week. So I guess, is there a end time built in?
No, there's no. Well, in 1 week we can take a snapshot of what the priority board looks like, right? We just screenshot it, but there is no ending. It's not like epochs basically. The idea is that you can actually use it throughout the quarter.
Yeah, so I think that makes sense. I think there is a benefit to like the community all looking at it at the same time and then contributors and guilds all recognizing, okay, these are like the priorities. I guess maybe that would happen if there was like a big change that someone switched their votes or something. But yeah.
Well, yeah, we want everyone to do this over this week. Allocate your priorities. At the end of this week, or let's say next Monday, we will see what it looks like. And if we have, very low participation, that's a problem. If we can take a snapshot of what that priority board, what it looks like at that point in time. I mean, you can manually take a snapshot whenever you want, but hopefully by next Monday we can connect wallet. What wallet are you using, Mikey?
MetaMask.
That's weird. On Gnosis chain?
On Gnosis chain, yeah.
If anyone else has that issue, share it. Connecting the wallets is one of the easiest things to do.
I just added some signal weight to Gov 2.0, I think, just as a test on the DXdao main one. And I guess right now, Sky, this is, oh, here we go.
Is this your screen, Chris?
This is
Thank
mine.
But look, you can look at signalers. You can probably. Oh no, this is the swap.
You know why Vanky wouldn't be able to connect his wallet, or is it not? You can't even press the button.
Is there anything like in your actual MetaMask window, like indicating you need to connect through the extension?
No.
Make sure you're on Gnosis chain.
Yeah, I am on Gnosis chain.
Yeah.
But I use Poked RPC. I don't know if that. Yeah, and then I see that there is something called as address as undefined. Yeah, but I can probably share this with you later on, Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to take a look and debug that, help figure that out at some point.
Can everyone else here connect their wallet?
Yeah, mine's connected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Adam? Can you connect your wallet? Yeah, Vanky's computer's messed up. Sorry, bro. Maybe hard refresh.
Yeah, I'll try later on.
Cool. Other thing would be in the voice guild, we have a proposal to do a small sponsorship of a quality event that's happening on the Saturday of ETH Denver. There's a bunch of info shared about it. There was a discussion. There's a proposal. The proposal, yeah, in my mind, this doesn't necessarily need to go to a DXdao vote. This is, I mean, people can give input and thoughts about it. You can check the Voice Guild discussion and proposal and make comments if you have any comments. But in tandem with Swapper, we're hoping to participate in this event. And as Elon just mentioned, joining forces with an already well-organized, high-quality event is a lot easier than putting on your own event. We will get a whole bunch of invites that we can hand invite anyone that we want to the event. There's a list. There should be a code. Once we pass it, then I'll share that, and then you can, people that are coming to Denver that you want to invite to it, you'll be able to send them the link in the code. But it's definitely not like a wide open public invite. You need to hand one-off invite people that you want to. Cool. I think that's all. Oh, Elon left because his baby's crying, I think. All right, we can end the call there, Wayne. Lewis, thanks
Okay,
for coming.
thanks.